to do this video today because someone had asked a question to me on Facebook, which was, who is Nicole Crewe really? And of course, you're always seeing me on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, but you probably maybe don't know my backstory. I obviously look quite young. I'm actually 32 years old, have 3 physiotherapy practices in Bristol and 1 down in Barnstable. And one of the things that people often say is that they're quite astounded by the size of my dreams, what I want to achieve with the Physio Crew, and the difference and the impact that I want to make on the UK and the healthcare system. Now, my background, I'm just a normal person. I came from a town called Newbury in Berkshire. I spent most of my childhood just playing with horses, if I'm completely honest, and you know, my parents split up when I was quite young, so it was a real nice way for me to be able to escape, to be able to enjoy doing athletic sport. And I was really lucky that I had 2 brothers, so all of our kind of childhood was spent either playing in the river or playing rough and tumble. We used to have this amazing bit of foam that we used to tie around each other and then have a little bungee cord, and then we'd just fly at each other and knock each other over. And I really learned that the body is very, very resilient from such a young age. And not only resilient physically, but you know, my mum moved to America when I was very young, and so we had to deal with a lot of things emotionally. And I looked back on kind of my childhood and where I get my strength from, and what I notice a lot in people, in athletes, is that there's a huge component of the physical aspect, but there's a huge component of the brain as well. And learning about conditioning, learning about how our brain responds and perceives has been something that I feel has made me a better clinician, and it's something that I try to share with my staff. So after I had kind of gone through my teenage years, then I went off to Plymouth University, and that's where things became really difficult for me. I always knew that I wanted to help people. I always knew that physio was probably going to be the right thing. I wanted to be a doctor originally, but then I was like, oh, I don't want to spend 10 minutes with my patients. We have such a tough job. So I thought I'd start looking down the avenue. I knew that working with athletes is really, really great, and I also knew that you could help sort of the lay people as well. And so as I started to see different patients throughout uni, I went on some different placements. So I did orthopedics, I did mental health, which I absolutely hated, even though now I use it quite a lot, but I absolutely hated it when I was doing it. And then I started volunteering. I was always one of these people who was doing all the extracurricular for free, travelling up to Darlington when I was working with the Premiership Rugby, you know, off up to England camps when I was doing that as well. And because I understand that learning is a huge part. I mean, learning feeds my energy as well. I mean, I really, really love learning new things, and I like looking at how that can impact on the wider population. It might sound really, really sad, but I am the sort of person who will be up at night thinking about a patient or looking at an article and trying to work out, right, what haven't we tried? What haven't we thought of? How do we act as detectives and really work out what is going on and how we can optimize healing, and also to look at changing the structure of whatever tissue is injured. Now, it's really important to know that I am very, very passionate about growing the business. So a lot of the time you'll see me on Instagram, you'll see me on YouTube, and you'll think, right, well, why is she selling so much? And the reason for that is I feel so passionate about making sure that we reach people. I don't want to see people off for a long period of time. I don't want to see people having hip fractures and then having a 30% chance of mortality. I want to grow a team and practices that can actually help people get back to work, can help them live life, because I think when we're injured, we are in a really dark place. We can't do the things that we love. Psychologically, it impacts us. We have to sit on the bench while our peers are playing, and it's that social isolation which is really, really terrible for people as well. And it's also the unknown. You know, with the internet now, it's fantastic. You can get loads of information, but you can also get loads of information by people who really don't know what they're talking about, and that is quite dangerous. That's why actually all those years ago, when I first qualified, I set up Physio, which is an educational learning site, because I was so frustrated with these people who were just putting these websites which weren't true. So people were going on and they were reading about back pain and they were getting really scared, and it was making their pain worse just by reading an article that was incorrect. So what I tried to do is put a website together together where people can learn and get accurate information. And I hope that what people are doing through Facebook and YouTube is they're getting proper information, clinically based information and evidence-based information, so that they can start making those changes. Because at the end of the day, injury and repetitive strain and work-related injuries and pain, they're not going to get better unless you commit to the process. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help people of the UK be able to access affordable, professional, expert treatment, and also to have access to all this free information so they can help themselves as well. So I hope I answered the question, who is the real Nicole Crewe? I haven't got an exciting story from when I was young. I certainly didn't have an easy upbringing, which maybe has made me so determined to kind of achieve my goals, and I aspire. And you know, when you come to the Physio Crew as well, you know that your money is going to a good place, because I reinvest everything. I mean, you won't see me driving around in a flashy car, you won't see me doing, you know, fancy holidays, at least not for at least 10 years. I'm spending that money on investing in staff. I'm going on courses, I'm getting new practices, I'm getting new clinicians, I'm getting sort of more equipment. So you will get a direct benefit from any money that you spend with us. Will go to a great cause and be used ethically to bring more people into the business so we can help more people. All right then guys, have a great day. Bye.